A Tale of Wild Geese by Rosalie Fox. In memory of all those young faces on black and white photos, forever smiling from history against a background of war. This is but a fictional account of how it might have been to fly and walk and love in World War II. It is only right to dedicate it to the real people who lived and loved and died as these people of my imagination have. A special thank you to my husband, who stayed up long hours into the night with me to help with research and fill out my plot. I could not have done it without you. You have been my flare path in the night. Genevieve, my little shining light and wonderful editor, there every step of the way. You mean the world to me. It is because of you that the wild geese took flight again. WWII, for all the goat-related advice. C.C. Kirk, for the advice, help, and experience you have shared with me. Tammy and Jolene, your dedication and belief in me. Dr. Marlies, for your medical advice. Prologue. The Wild Geese. There were two hand-reared Canadian geese, the male big and proud with a long black neck, the female slightly smaller with a slimmer, shorter neck and a pointed tail. Once there had been a man who trimmed their wings and fed them from his hand, but the man did not come much any more, and their wings had grown out. They were free to go as they wished. Habit was strong, however, and they stayed close to their pond, mostly unbothered by humans. One day there were people beside their water, and they were disturbed. A girl and man walked there in the dawn. They talked, and the sound disturbed them. Then the people went away, and the geese were peaceful. Things flew over that were neither bird nor cloud, things that roared dully. They chased each other through the sky and chattered in mid-flight. The geese saw, and they kept from the sky when it happened. The people returned frequently. They were always together. Once there was a storm. Lightning struck a tree. It was dark and very close to them. The female, frightened, took to the sky. She was caught by a gust of wind. Hail and sleet pounded her. The wind hurled her into the fence. She was stunned and stuck, fought till she could fight no more. The people came with the morning light, and they were calm hands. The hands did things to her. They were strong, and she could not fight them. The trust she had known when she was small was not altogether gone, and there was something gentle in the hands. Then there was enclosure, hands that fed her, smaller, less sure, but kind. She knew they meant no harm, but they held her away from the male. He flew over every dawn, crying to her, "Come, come away." Her instinct, the bond between them, urged her, but she could not get out. Then the big hands came again and set her free. They were together again, she and he. She tried once or twice to follow the male into the sky, but her wing would not carry her, and she did not try again. The people walked by the edge of the water, but the geese learned that they were no threat and were mostly unbothered. Then for a long time they didn't see anyone. The people were somehow connected with the strange happenings in the sky. They felt safer when the people kept away. Yet there was something compelling the female to trust them, something that stirred her about them. Then a flock of other geese came over, and the male rose on his dark, strong wings. There were shots. Some geese fell. The others swerved, flew away. The goose cried. She called him, "Come back." He did not come. She waited. She waited and called. Then the male returned. He was tired, but he had come back, and she was content. The girl visited again, a man with her. He was not the one with the gentle hands that had walked beside her, but they left together. The girl was different. The air trembled. For a long time then the geese had peace. There were still strange things passing over, but few things disturbed their pond and grazing fields. One day people came again. First the small one, then a bigger one. The male was restless. He rose on wings toward the sun, and the female, trying again at last, feeling the stirring of something within her, rose with, found her wings strong. They flew, circling each other, strong, mighty flyers. The next day a flock of geese came over, and they left with them, the male slightly in front of her, opening a path for her in the sky, the turmoil his wings made carrying her too. That night they rested beside a river, and she was content. He was beside her. She could follow him now. They flew on. The next year they returned to their pond. The people were gone. They never came again. The geese raised a brood of 6. When the season changed and the stirrings began again to go, they flew again, followed the flock, high, free, independent. Perhaps just sometimes, when the goose calls her sad cry, remembrance comes to her, and she recalls faintly the 2 people who walked beside the water. Maybe she wonders at the hands that healed her, whither they went, those 2 who walked together.